Hey everybody, it's Friday and it's time for another of Patrick's Picks. Today's book is Talk Like Ted by Carmine Gallo. About 3 years ago, one of my corporate clients wanted to make the transition into giving more public speeches and actually give TED Talks. So he bought this book, and sure enough, 3 years later, he's doing TED Talks. He came to me to help him with his voice, with his speech, with his presentation, and he used this book by Carmine Gallo as a blueprint. It's a wonderful book, and if you want to become a TED Talk speaker, get this book. I can't urge you enough. It's wonderful. Just like in anything in life, if you want to do something, go out and find out the information that makes it possible. How did other people do it? If you want to be a better voice and speech person, better speaker, go to a voice coach. Learn how to use your voice. If you want to become a sailboat captain, go and take some sailing classes. Do what you need to do to fulfill your dreams. So in this book by Carmine Gallo, he mentions some very simple, easy techniques to use to become a great TED speaker. And what he does talk about here is part one, emotional, part two is novel, and part three is be memorable. And lots of information is in the book. But what I want to speak about today is being emotional. How emotions play a huge part in being an effective speaker. Recently, I had a client come to me, a young woman who's in her late 20s and highly qualified, is off on a new career path in business, and I think she's going to do great. I know she will. The one thing that she's lacking right now, and she feels it in her interactions, is a confidence, being taken as an authority, even though she has the knowledge and she's going to gain more experience. It's that disconnect between the feelings, the actual knowledge, and being able to be perceived that way. So as we sat down, I asked her to describe what that felt like. What does it feel like not to be confident, to not be taken as confident? And as she sat there, she started to have some emotions. In fact, she started to cry. It was a very tender moment, and I was really honored that she would be there with me and let herself be open like that, be vulnerable. So much of the time, we have expectations on ourselves. We've got to be perfect. We've got to show up. We've got to do the right job. This is how we're going to do it, and nothing's going to get in our way. Well, when we do that, we're sort of removing that link between ourselves, our emotions, and the other person. In that moment when my client started to really feel her feelings, feel her emotions, her voice started to become more grounded, her authentic self, which is her confident self, started to appear. And from that place, when she was vulnerable, she then became much more powerful in her speech. The takeaway is, let go. Let go. Let go of your expectations, your demands on yourself that you've got to be a certain way. In time, that will come. But the first step is feel your feelings. Feel your joy. Feel your sadness. Feel your worry. Allow those things to be felt by you. You don't need to live in that forever because we know one thing, feelings always change. But if you don't allow yourself to feel, you suddenly become one note. There is nothing else. It's just this. This is the way that I am under the situation. I want to get things done. And you're not going to really relate to what I'm saying because I'm not allowing you in. Vulnerability, emotionalism, being emotional, these are all powerful tools for being a speaker that people respond to because they think, wow, that's an impressive person. They're open, they're feeling. And automatically what happens when you start to allow your emotions to come through is your tone changes, your voice changes. You get those depths and those highs. You get all of those feelings because you're connected to yourself. Whereas if my client, for example, had tried to hold back her tears, had to try to stifle them, had to try to sit on them, make unnecessary demands on herself that she wouldn't cry, she would have cut herself off from who she really was in that moment. which was a deeply sensitive, deeply caring, deeply powerful person. And once she allowed that to come, everything else organically worked out. The breath worked. The voice was supported. The sounds came out. And she realized in that moment truly how powerful she is. And we put a game plan together for her to become a better speaker, a better presenter, and more confident in everything she does. So the first step for you today is to let go. What are those feelings you're having right now? What do you feel in this very moment as you're sitting there? Get in contact with that. Take that time out during the day at some moment just to feel what you're feeling. Maybe even come up with 3 words. Right now I feel excited. I feel enthusiastic. I feel sad. Whatever those feelings are, get in touch with them. By getting in touch with them, recognizing them, allowing them to be, and letting go of expectations or unnecessary demands, you're going to take the first step in becoming more powerful in the way that you connect to yourself, in the way that you connect to others, and the way that you connect to your message. I'm Patrick Munoz. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.